everybody, it's Pina here. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to make this pretty little pouch. It's really quite adorable. You've got, it's circular and you've got three colours here. I mean, you can do it in one colour, but I think the contrasting colours do make it look really pretty. I've got the base, which is this colour, and I've got the cream in the bobble stitch, and then I've got this Mocha colour, which is really pretty. And this does work with a sort of drawstring method. Now you just have to open it up like this, really. There you go, and then you just close it like that, and you've got your little pouch. Now I've got something in there just to pump it up, so you can, I'm just going to remove the yarn that I've got in there so you can have a look at it without the yarn. So I've got something in there that just to plump it up so you can see what it looks like. And of course, there you go. That's what it looks like when you've got it down. Again, you can just do that and just do that. Okay, it's a very pretty design, and it's based on a circular sort of pattern. As you can see, it's just circle at the bottom, and then you've got the three layers of different things. And also you've got beads. Look, there's some lovely little beads, wooden beads on the ends of the straps, or the pulleys. I think you call them pulleys. Yeah. And then obviously you've got quite a big pouch. You can fit quite a bit of in there. Actually, you can fit quite a bit of. I'll show you with. I've got some yarn here. I'm just going to pop that in there. And obviously, you put whatever you want in there. You can use it for yarn if you want. Take it with you wherever you want to go, or you can just pop in anything you've got, cosmetics, anything like that, and then you just do it up like that, and you've got a little pouch. And I've got a little tag there as well that's added finishing touch to it. I'm going to show you how to make this today. So for this is what you'll need. Pop that aside. Now the yarn that I use for this project is this really lovely yarn. I mean, it's so soft. It's cotton, and it's called Only Natural, and it's by Knitcraft, by Hobbycraft in the UK. Now I'll have to try and find an alternative if you're not from the UK, but this, if you can get a hold of this stuff, it's really, really soft cotton, very, very, very beautiful to feel. And they come in 50-gram balls, and you only need one ball of each colour for this tutorial. And it's a DK, and it's also you use a 4mm, but I'm using a 3.5 today. And look, it's just amazing, and it comes in various colours. Now I've got these three colours I'm using today, and I think that's Mocha, Sage and Cream, but I'll put the colours in the description below. But they are absolutely wonderful. I mean, that Mocha is really lovely, so is that Sage Green. There you go, and then you've got the Cream. So that's what you'll need for that part of the project. And then you'll need a 3.5mm, like I just said, hook. You'll need a pair of scissors, you'll need a needle to sew in your ends, and you'll need you might need some stitch markers. You don't have to have them, but sometimes it's useful. And I've got 4 wooden beads here. You can use any bead you want to use, as long as the hole is pretty large so you can thread your yarn through. So I've got 4 beads, and I've also got a little tag for handmade. Now you can put any tag you want on there. You can even put a leather tag, or one of those leather strap-on press-on tags. Sorry, you can use one of those too. Whatever suits you. So let's get started, shall we? So we're going to start with this colour, the green, the sage green. So we're going to start with that colour first. So go ahead and grab the colour yarn that you want to use. Of course, you don't have to use it in that order where it's Sage, Cream and Mocha. You can use it in any order you want. So grab your hook, and we're going to do a magic ring. So we're going to just yarn over, crisscross over your 2 fingers like that. Put your hook underneath, pull up a loop, press onto that, pinch it there, just there for a moment. Then chain up 2, so that's 1 and 2. So there we are. So you've got 2 chains from your magic ring, and we're going to now work into the magic ring. Now that chain 2 is counting as a stitch, so now we're going to do altogether 14 double crochets into the magic ring, including that, and that's where we're forming the base of the pouch, which is the circle base. So again, now we're going to do a double crochet. So your yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook, pull through 2 and pull through 2, yarn over into this ring again, insert your hook, pull through 2 and pull through 2. Now carry on until you've got 14 of these into that magic ring, and I'll meet you back when you've done your last one. Okay, so now that you've done your 14 double crochets into the ring, we're going to now pull this shut kind of thing, pull it tight from the tail end, so it's nice and tight like this, and then we're going to now slip stitch into the top of this double crochet, not the chain 2, just there on the V on the double crochet. So we're just going to put our hook in and do a slip stitch just like that. Okay, so now you formed a little circle, and then you chain 2, 1, 2. Okay, so into that space there, we're going to do, starting from there onwards, we're going to do 2 double crochets into every stitch. So we're going to ignore this chain 2 for now, because that's going to be added at the end. So ignore that, and then we're going to do 2 doubles in there, 2 doubles in there, and so on. So yarn over, put your hook into that very first space and pull up a loop and do your first double. Okay, and do another double into the same space. That counts as 2 in that stitch, and then from thereafter just do 2 doubles like so into each and every stitch. Okay, so you see, and that's all you do for this round. So I'll meet you when you get to the end of this round. Okay, so we come to the end of this round, round 2, and we're going to do the final 2 stitches into there and then 1 into there. So yarn over and do 2 double crochets into this last stitch here, 1 and 2, and then there we go. This yarn does fray a bit, so be very careful. So you've got the 2 there. Now we've got a chain 2 here, so that chain 2 needs another stitch there to make it 2 into the same stitch. So we do another double crochet into that space there just to make it 2 into 1 stitch, so they go together. Okay, and now all we do now is just slip stitch in the top of the double crochet like before. So we just do a slip stitch just there. Right, now chain up 2 again for the next round. Okay, so I forgot to mention you need 28 stitches in this second round. So now let's start this round, and then, as I said, chain 2, then yarn over, and we're going to do something slightly different. So we're just going to put 1 double crochet into that space there, and then into the next stitch we're going to do 2 into that stitch, 2 double crochets. So do your 1, 2 into that second stitch there. Okay, now ignoring the chain 2 again, so you've got 1, 2. In the next stitch we do a 1 double crochet. In the next stitch we do 2 double crochets. So that's 1, 2 in the same stitch, and then continue all the way around where you've got exactly the same thing going. You've got the 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, etc., and make sure it's always the same. So I'm going to put a 1 there, 1 double crochet, and then 2 into the next one. So now carry on, and I'll meet you at the other end when you've done this round. I'll see you at the other end. Okay, here we are at round 3 at the end, and now you should have 42 stitches by the time we finish. Now I'm just going to do my last one single crochet, double crochet, sorry, into that space, and then here we're going to do another double crochet to join in with the chain 2. So we're just going to put our hook there and draw up a loop and then do your last double crochet. So in effect that's together, so you've got now 2 1 2 1 2 1 again, and then you're ending on a 1, and then this here becomes the 2 with the chain 2. Okay, so in total you should have 42 stitches. Now I'm going to slip stitch again on the top of the chain 2, just right there, and just do a slip stitch. So now that you've done that, we're going to chain up 2 again. So 1 2, and now something slightly different. We're on row number 4, so we're going to do a double crochet into the very first stitch and another double crochet and then 2 into the next stitch. Okay, so yarn over and put your hook in to the very first space there and do your first double crochet. Okay, then we go into the next stitch and do a double crochet. Okay, so and then now here in the next stitch we're going to do 2 in 1 stitch, so 2 double crochets. So the pattern now is 1 1 2 1 1 2, so 1 1 2 2 into the next one. There we go. So that is the pattern. Okay, so 1 1 2 1 1 2, and I'll meet you at the other side. Okay, so we've come to the end of this round 4, and I'm just going to now do my last 2, because I've done my 2 in 1 stitch, 1 1, and then this is going to be a 2. So yarn over into that stitch, 1 double crochet, into the next stitch, double crochet. So I've ended up with 1 1, and then this chain 2 again becomes 2. So stick your hook into the same stitch where the chain 2 comes out of and do a double crochet, and then join up with a slip stitch again on the top of the V just there. Okay, so now you've got round 4, and you should have 56 stitches in total all the way around. Okay, so now we've got 4 rounds. It's the 5th round now, and for this, chain up 2 again, 1 2. Now as we've done 1 1 2 in our last row, we're now going to do 1 1 1 2. Okay, so yarn over into your very first space there, we're going to do a double crochet, and then in the next stitch a double crochet, and in the next one a double crochet. So that's 3 double crochets, ignoring the chain 2 of course, and then in the next stitch we're going to do 2 double crochets. There we go. So basically again this is the final round. So what you're going to do is 1 1 1 2 1 1 1 2 1 1 1 2, remember that, and continue until you get to the other side, and then I'll meet you to finish off this last round of the base. Okay, so I've come to the end of this round, and this is the final round of the base, and now I've done my last 3 and then I'm going to do my last double crochet into the same stitch as the chain 2 just to finish it off. So there you go, so that's finished off. Now I'm going to slip stitch now into the top of the V of the double crochet, first one, just do a slip stitch. So that's your base. Now that you've slip stitched, we're going to chain up 2 1 2, and what we're going to do now is work into the back loops of the previous round, and we need to build up the walls of the wall part of the pouch, and so we're going to do back loops, and we're going to do 4 rows of doubles, but the only first row has got the back, you go into the back loop. So you've chained 2, And looking down at your V's from here, you're going to yarn over, and then you're going to go into the back loop of the very first and also the third loop. Now underneath the back loop is a third loop. If you can see, I'll show you where the third loop is. If I grab my needle, that's the second loop, the back loop, and then you've got this one underneath, which is a third loop. So this is what you need to grab both those loops. So if I just put my hook back in, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so again, yarn over into the back loop and pull up the third loop, which is just underneath. I don't know if you can see here. There you go. So I've got back loop and third loop. The strands are a little bit, they kind of fray a little bit, but you can just about see it. So you're just going to pull up a loop, pull through two, pull through two. That's your very first double crochet into the back loop and third loop. Yarn over, back loop, tilt it back this way, and then you get the third loop as well. There's actually two loops there, but you can just about see it. Back loop and third loop. Pull up a loop, pull through two, yarn over, back loop. There we go. I'll show you if I can just show you. There we are. So back loop, and third loop. Those two loops you need to grab. So I'm just going to put my hook in and just tilt it so I can see the back loop and third loop. There we are. Pull up a loop and do your double crochet. I'll do one more. So yarn over, back loop, third loop, there's two loops there. Okay, and then I'm just going to do my normal double crochet. So continue all the way around, back loop, third loop, until you come to this side, and I'll meet you back there. Okay, so I've done my first row, as you can see, or round I should say. Now it's all very sturdy around the sides because we've done the third loop and the back loop together, and it's really lovely. And then when you work your way up, it just goes into place. I'm going to do 4 rounds of this, so I'm just gonna put my hook in and just finish off this round and just show you how to start the next round, and then you can get on with the 4 rounds. You should have 70 stitches still. So now I'm going to slip stitch again the same way into the top of the V of the double crochet from the previous round. So just do your slip stitch like so. Okay, and once you've done that, chain up 2 again, 1, 2, and now it's pretty straightforward. There's no back looping or anything like that. It's just double crochet for 4 rounds, and I'm just going to yarn over and put my first stitch just there. So put your first stitch into that space and then carry on doing double crochets all the way around, and when you get to the end, slip stitch, chain up 2, and do exactly the same thing as you just did now for 4 rounds. So that's the start of the second round. Now this, just take that off so you can see, this second round is just a plain double crochet like you see. So carry on, and I'll meet you back here when you've done 4 rounds of that. Okay, so I've done my 4 rows including the back loop row, so that's 4 in total. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what we're going to do now is change colour to the creamy colour, and for a colour change, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to cut off my yarn. Oops. Cut off my yarn and add my new colour, which by doing this, I'm just going to grab my hook and my last stitch I've done there now, and I'm going to slip stitch into this top of the double crochet there. I'm going to pull up the green yarn through, and I'm going to add my cream yarn. So I've got 2 loops on the hook, and I'm just going to put my cream yarn all the way through like so. Now tighten everything up, tighten up all your strands so it's nice and tight, because now we need to do single crochet in this row, in this very first row round. So so tighten that up really well. There we go. Now we can sort of weave these in as we go along, or you can sew it in at the end. It's up to you, it's entirely up to you. But I'm going to chain one now. Okay, so that sets the stage for your single crochet row. Now into this very first stitch we're going to do a single crochet. So insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. You can put a stitch marker there if you're not sure where it starts and ends, and I'll just put it down here for this row just to show you. That's your very first stitch there. Now you're going to continue along here doing single crochet. So single crochet, single crochet, all the way down this very first row. Right, so now this will set the base for the bobble stitch row. So I'm just going along just to do that. Single crochet, weaving my ends in as I go along, as you can see. Okay, so that's your single crochet. Now carry on doing that and I'll meet you at the other end. Okay, so I've done my single crochets. I've got 70 stitches of single crochets all the way along here, and now it's time for the bobble stitch row. So I'm going to insert my hook and I'm going to slip stitch first, because I've done my slip stitch into the very first single crochet. So there you go. So I've slip stitched into there. So now that you've made that closed, I'm going to chain up 2, 1, 2. Now we're going to turn our work for this, because the bobbles are going to be on the outside and this is the inside. For that you need to turn your work. So I've chained 2 and I'm going to go into this space here, just there where the chain is, and I'm going to go into there 5 times. So yarn over, insert your hook into that space, just there, pull up a loop and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2. Stay that way. You yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. So you've got 3 in your hook. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. Now we need to have 6 loops on the hook, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then yarn over, insert your hook again, pull up a loop and pull through 2 loops. Now you've got 6. So in order to go to get 6 on your hook, you'll need to go in 5 times. So I'm now going to go through all of these loops by yarning over and pulling through all of these loops, 6 loops on my hook. Then in the next stitch I'm going to do a single crochet like so, and that's your first bobble. Now in the next 2 stitches we just do a normal double crochet. So that's 1, 2 double crochets. All right, now in the next stitch we're going to yarn over again and do a bobble. So I'm going to insert my hook into this next stitch here, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, and carry on the same way until you have 6 loops on your hook. That's 6 loops. So I've gone in 5 times. So let's pull through all 6, and then you've got another bobble stitch, then single crochet into the next one. So you've got 2 bobbles, and then 2 double crochets into each of the next 2 stitches. So that's 1, 2 double crochets. Okay, now what we're going to do is the next bobble. I'm going to show you how to do the next bobble again, and then I'll let you get on with it. So the next bobble we're going in 5 times. So yarn over, put your hook in, pull through 2. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's 5 times in. 6 on your hook, pull through all 6, a single crochet, and 2 double crochets. So that's 1, and then 2 in the next stitch. Sorry, 1 in the next stitch. That's 2 stitches of double crochet. So now you've got your bobble stitch forming and you've got your double crochets in between. So carry on all the way round until you get to this end, and I'll show you how to finish off. Okay, so I've come to the end of this round and I'm going to show you how to finish off. I've got all my bobble stitches there. Now you should have 18 bobbles at the end of this. So I'm just going to do my last bobble and I'm going to pop my hook in. Now at the very end, we're going to do our last bobble here and then a single crochet, and we're not going to do double crochets. It still looks okay. It's not going to be a problem. You just need to remember that. So I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to put that in, and I'm going to do my 5 loops into this stitch until I've got 6 on the hook. So there's 3, 6, and just pull through and then single crochet into that last stitch. Okay, now that you've done that, okay, we're going to now put our hook and do a slip stitch into the top of this bobble just here. There's a V there. We're going to do a little slip stitch there. So just pop your hook in and pull through. Right, I'll just show you how that looks. There you go. So there we are. That's all the way round like that. Now what we're going to do next, we're going to do 2 rows of single crochet in the same colour. So now that I've got my bobbles done, I'm just going to pop my hook in, and for this we're going to chain 1 and turn our work, because now we need to do the single crochets all the way down this side of the bobbles. So for this you're just going to literally just do single crochet in every stitch. So now to do your single crochets, you're going to go straight into the very first stitch here and do your first single crochet. So single crochet. You can put a stitch marker if you want, it's up to you. It should be okay, you should be able to notice it, but I'll put a stitch marker so you can see how it works. So there's your stitch marker. Now again, like I said, just go into every stitch, into these V's. Every single V that you see there, you're going to go into. So that was your very first, your second single crochet into that stitch there. And then on top of the bobble, there's another stitch. So make sure you go into that one as well, single crochet. Then you've got the 2 stitches here, the 2 V's there, and we need to go into them as well as a single crochet. So make sure you go into them. And then of course, again, on top of the bobble, well, this bit of the bobble here, we need to go into that because that's a V as well. So every V that you see, you need to go into. Now you need 70 of these stitches around, so make sure you've got 70 of the single crochets at the very end. So again, on top of the bobble there's a V. Can you see that V? So I'm going to go into that V there, single crochet. Single crochet into every stitch thereafter, single crochet, and then on top of here there as well. Carry on all the way round. Now you need 2 rows of this, so that's how it looks. So when you've done this row, at the very end you just slip stitch into the top of the last, or the very first stitch that you did actually, and then when you've slip stitched into there, you do a chain 1, and again you do the same again, you do another row of single crochet. So that's all you're doing for this next 2 rows. So I'll let you get on with these 2 rows of single crochet, and I'll meet you back when you've done both 2 rows. Okay, so I've done my 2 rows of single crochets, and now it's time for another bobble stitch row. So for this, I'm just going to slip stitch now back into my very first single crochet like so. Okay, and now we're going to chain 2. So chain up 2 and turn your work again, because remember we need the bobbles to be on the outer side. So again, start again with your bobble stitch, and I'll start you off, yarn over and go into this very first stitch here where your chain 2 is, and you go into there and do your very first, there we go, bobble stitch. So I'm going to go in 5 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Last one in, and there we go. So now you've got 6 on your hook. Remember the same thing as before. Next stitch, single crochet, and then the next stitch a double crochet, and the next stitch another double crochet. So this is what you've got now. So it should align up with the last row of bobbles that you did. So you're going to have bobbles on top of each bobble. Okay, so carry on until you've got 18 bobbles yet again, and I'll show you how to finish off this round. Okay, so now that you've done your the other row of bobble stitch here, as you can see, now we're going to do 3 rows of single crochet. Now that's pretty straightforward because it's just 3 rows, and what you do is just pop your hook in. I'm going to slip stitch now into my top of my bobble that I've just finished. Right, the bobble round rather that I've just finished. So I'm just going to pop that like so. Again, chain 1 and turn your work. And this is where you do the same as before when you did your single crochets. You just go into each and every stitch and do a single crochet. So just keep going for 3 rounds of this single crochet row. Okay, and I'll meet you right back when you've done three rounds of single crochet. See you in a moment. Okay, so now that you've done your 3rd round of the single crochet, just going to slip stitch into the top of the very first one, and make sure you've got 70 stitches there. So 70 all the way around, and then we're going to do something different, which is a double crochet row now. So I'm going to chain up 2, 1, 2. Okay, and what we're going to do just double crochet, that's yarn over into this very first stitch here, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. So that's a double crochet, and you're just going to go all the way along this round doing double crochet. This is the simple round, double crochet all the way, as you can see. There you go. I'm just going to do a few more so you can see how it looks. So there we go. So that's a double crochet round, and just going to do one of those rounds so that it looks like we're on this part here. So you've got your 3 single crochets and your double crochet. So I'll meet you back when you've completed this round. Okay, so when you've done your 70 stitches of double crochet, we're now going to do 1 round of single crochet, and before we do the next round of bobble stitch. So you're just going to slip stitch as usual on the top of the very first stitch there, and you're going to chain 1 and then do your single crochets all the way around, 70 of these 2 all the way around, and I'll meet you back when you've done your 70 round stitches of single crochet. See you back here in a moment. Okay, so we've done our row of single crochet, and now it's for the next bobble stitch row. Now we've got one bobble stitch row we've got, and that is just, again, we just slip stitch into the top of this first single crochet that we last done, and just do a slip stitch, chain 2. Okay, and then we turn our work, because we're going to do the row of bobble stitch, which I showed you before, but I'll do 1 bobble stitch so you can see how it's done. So yarn over into this very first stitch here, like before. You're going to do your first bobble stitch. So carry on doing your bobble stitch like so. So you should have 6 loops on your hook. That's right. That's 3, 4, 5, 1 more, 6. 6 loops on your hook. As long as you've got 6 loops on your hook, you know you're not going wrong. So do your first bobble, do a single crochet and 2 double crochets next to that. That's 1 and 2. Okay, and then you do the whole situation again where you have a row of bobble just like here, and I'll meet you back when you're finished. Okay, so once you've done your last row of bobble stitches, we're going to do 2 rows, or 2 rounds I should say, 2 rounds of single crochet. So I'm just going to finish off this round, and I'm going to do my last single crochet there, just there, before we join on with a slip stitch. Okay, chain 1, turn your work, and continue again doing the same thing as before with a single crochet in each and every V on top of the puff stitches, each and every V that you see. So I'm just going to do that, and then I'm going to meet you back here after you've done your two rounds of single crochet. See you in a moment. Okay, so once you've done your base and your middle bit, we're coming to the end of the pouch, more or less, because we've got just these to do now. These are double crochet stitches. Now I've done 1, 2, 3 rows, 4, 5, 6 rows of double crochet, but in between we've got a box. Can you see there's a box stitch row there? So first of all, we're going to do the first 3 rows of double crochet on our pouch, and then we'll work the box stitches, and then we'll do the rest of the pouch, and then the straps or the pulleys, these things that you pull. So now that we've come to this, we're going to change colour. Now if you want to do the same colour, by all means carry on, but I'm going to change colour. So I'm going to just cut my yarn off from here, leave a bit of a tail end. Okay, so now we're going to take our Mocha colour, and I'm just going to put my hook into the loop again, and I'm going to do my slip stitch, but I won't finish it off. I'll just get 2 loops on my hook. I'm going to add my Mocha colour now through the loops like so. Okay, and then I'm just going to give it a tug, just all strands, to tug them together so that everything gets tightened up there, as you can see. So just give them a nice tightening up. There we go. There you go. So once they're all tight and you know it feels secure enough, we're going to do this. We're going to chain 2. So 1, 2. Okay, and I'm just going to give that another tug. There we go. Now from here we're just going to do double crochets all the way. So I'm going to weave in my ends as I go along, so that they're just easier to weave in. So I'm going to just yarn over, and into this space here I'm going to do my first double crochet. So that's double crochet, and then carry on doing double crochet in your Mocha colour. Like so. So you've got that nice colour break up there. So just keep going until you've made 3 rows, I think, of this one. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. So you need 3 rows of simple, just double crochet rows until we get to the box row, which is the next row after that. So I'm just going to continue, and I'm going to let you get on and do 3 rows of double crochets, and I'll meet you back here when you've done your 3 rows. Okay, I just want to show you how you finish your first round. So we've just finished that one, and we're going to slip stitch just like the other stitches on the top of the first double crochet, and then chain up 2, carry on again, and I'll see you when you've done all 3 rounds. Okay, so now I've done my 3 rounds of the Mocha colour, I'm going to now do the boxed stitch row, where so we're going to thread these bits, the plaits, whatever you call them, through it. So we're going to need that box stitch area. So I'm just going to put my hook back in again. Just, it's a little bit thready, this yarn, so just be careful when you work with it that the threads don't split like that. So I'm going to just take that back for one moment, like so, and if that does happen, just take it back, and I'm just going to finish off this round again. There we go. There we go. So there you go. Now from here we're going to chain up 2 again. 1, 2. Okay, and because we're doing a chain in between each stitch, okay, we're going to now, I'm going to do an extra chain, so that's another chain, and that gives us the chain 1 in between the boxes. So we're going to skip a stitch, so we're going to, that's 1 stitch, 2, into the 3rd stitch we're going to do a double crochet like that. Okay, so that become a box when you finish off the round, and again chain 1, yarn over and do another miss another stitch. So I'm just going to show you where. So now we've got to skip that stitch there, and into the next stitch we do a double crochet. So I'm just going to put my hook in, do a double crochet, chain 1, yarn over, skip a stitch, that one there, and into the next stitch do your next double crochet, do that again, double crochet, and you chain 1, always chain 1 in between. So now your boxes are starting to take form, and again we're going to skip a stitch, and into the next one we're going to do double crochet, chain 1, yarn over and then skip a stitch just there, and into the next one we're going to do a double crochet, chain 1, okay, and then skip a stitch again, yarn over, and into the next one we're going to do another double crochet, chain 1, yarn over, skip a stitch, into the next one, double crochet, chain 1, and then again skip a stitch, into the next one, oops, the next one, double crochet and chain 1. And I'm just going to show you what that looks like. So when you come to the end, I'll show you how to finish off. So continue all the way around just for this round. Okay, so now that you've done the box stitching, now we're going to do our final, I've done a chain after the last double crochet, and I'm going to slip stitch now because there's I've missed a stitch here, which you're supposed to, and then there's the chain 3, but we're going to slip stitch into the 2nd chain, so 1, 2, and just going to put our hook there and slip stitch, and that's your box. So now you've got your final box there. Okay, so now the next 3 rows are exactly the same as these 3 rows, and that is you're going to double crochet 3 rows. So all you do now is you chain 2, so chain 2 as normal. Okay, so now for this bit we're going to work into each and every one of these boxes and on top of these double crochets. So for this we're going to yarn over and go into the box and do a double crochet. Okay, and then we're going to work into the top of this stitch here, this other double crochet, and do a double crochet into there. So I'm just going to pull through. Now we're going to go into the box now, yarn over and do a double crochet, yarn over and go into the top of this stitch here. And we're going to go into the box and do a double crochet, and then we can go on top of the stitch and do a double crochet, into the box, double crochet, On top of the stitch, just there, we're going to do a double crochet. Into the box, double crochet. On top of the stitch, a double crochet. And carry on like this all the way through the same pattern until you've come to the other side. And then when you come into the other side, just slip stitch and on top of here, and then I'll show you what to do after that. In fact, we're doing 3 rows of this again, so I'll meet you at the end just to finish off this row. Okay, so this is the first round of the double crochet row, and of the last 3 rows I mean, and basically now we've just finished that last stitch, and I'm just going to yarn over and go into this last box here just to show you how to finish this off. And then once you've gone into that last box, you're going to slip stitch into the top of this double crochet and then chain 2 and then start again. So again, you need to work around. So I'm going to leave you to get on with the other 2 rows. So you've got 3 rows in total for the last 3 rows of this pouch. Okay, so for this final row, we're going to finish off this this double crochet round, and we're going to just put our hook into the top of this stitch to slip stitch, and then we're going to all we're going to do now is chain 1 and do a single crochet row all the way around. And when you've done that, I'll show you what to do next. The last thing we're going to do is the straps, or the pulleys, these things here. We're going to be doing those and adding the beads to it. So carry on, do your single crochet last round here, and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so I've slip stitched into my last single crochet, and I'm going to now make the straps. But before we do that, I'm going to show you how to do a invisible join so that the whole thing looks neat on the top. So I've just pulled out my last stitch there. Okay, and that's my last stitch. Now I'm going to cut off the yarn just leave a bit of a tail end. And what we're going to do now, we're just going to pull that through, just pull that last loop through all together. Right, and I'm going to get my needle. Okay, and with my needle, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to just thread it. So just thread your needle, and then we're just going to do an invisible join. And this is how you do it. You just grab your last stitch like that, and into this, from the back of this V here, we're going to put our needle in like so. Pull everything together, but not too tight. And then into this V here, this V, we're going to put our needle in and grab the 3rd loop as well as we go in. So I'll just show you. So we're going to go into the back of that and grab the 3rd loop with it. There we go. And then I'm just going to pull it like that. So you've just joined it invisibly, so it looks really neat. Okay, so because that's the very last row, that's why I'm doing that. You don't have to do it in every row. And there you go, it looks really inconspicuous. Now then all you do is then just tie in your ends wherever you want to put your tail end, just thread it through. Okay. And then just make sure it's very secure. You don't want any of this to come out. Just going through every single stitch. There we go. Backwards and forwards. Right, making sure it's not all scrunched up. It's all nice and, there we go, nice and neat. And then might go back this way again. and so that's your woven in ends. Now I'm going to just cut that off like so, and that's your pouch almost completed. Now all we need to do now is, apart from tying in your ends which are inside here, you can do that at the end, that's not a problem, and we're going to do these now. So I'm going to show you how to do these. Basically you need to get your colour yarn, whichever yarn you want, whether it's Mocha, cream or this sage green, but I like to put the Mocha, but feel free to put any colour you want. So I'm going to get the Mocha yarn, and I'm going to really pull out quite a bit of this yarn, maybe 2 meters or something like that, really long, because you're going to double it up when you crochet, when you chain it, you're going to double it up. So I'm going to grab a really long amount, like I said, about 2 meters, something like that. It may seem like a lot, but when you actually chain it, make it into a chain, a double chain, it's not that long. So this is pretty long now. I think that should be okay. It's about 2 meters long, and these are, I'm not sure what length they are, but they need to be about enough so that you've got a little bit to pull, okay, a little bit hanging out when you opened it, and when you close it, it's not too long. Okay, you can double close it if you want by doing this as well, it's up to you. You know, it looks quite nice, or you can just leave it like that. Okay, but make sure it's long enough so when you open it like so, these aren't going to be too short. So let's go ahead and do the chain. So I'm going to just pop that aside. So all you need to do is get your hook, wrap your loop around your finger and do a slip knot onto your hook. Leave a little bit hanging like that, and then continue to chain. So do as many chains as you think will make it the length that you want it to be. Now there's no particular amount of chains, you just keep going until you get it to that length. So I'm just going to keep going till I get it to the length that I want it to be. And when I got it to that particular length, I'll meet you right back here. Okay, so I've done one of my chains, and it's about, I've measured it, it's about 18 inches long, but of course do it the length that you see fit. But this is about 18 inches in length, and what I've done is I've left the loop here, and I haven't done anything yet. I'm just going to trim it off and cut a fair amount just in case I do want to make it a bit longer. So I've got that fair amount, and I'm leaving it like this for now, and I'm going to make another one. Okay, so I've done my 2 lots of chains. Now they are about 18 inches, like I said, both of them. And what I'm going to do is thread it through my pouch now. So I've just got my pouch here. And as you can see, I'm just going to get, that's the back. I'm going to leave the back at the back, and that's the front. It doesn't really matter, but I prefer the back where we finished off each round at the back, and then that's the front. So I'm just going to thread my chain through here. Now it's entirely up to you where you put it. Now I'm going to just thread it so it's sort of, there's a loop there, as you can see, like a double crochet. I'm just going to thread it through there. So I'm going to go through there and just put my first there and my second one there. There we go. Okay, so that's the start of it, and then from there we're just going to like I did with this one here, I went through and then I missed two boxes, went through one box, missed another box, went to the other box. So I'll show you how I did that. So you can do it anyway, it's not important really, but I sort of missed a box, went through the other box, out of that area, missed the box, into the other box and out. Okay, and then Mr. Box into the other box and out. You can do it by hand, it's not a problem. And then Mr. Box into the other box and out. Mr. Box into the other box and out. And then I flipped over the other side like this and did the same the other side, so that you miss a box into the other box and out like that. And then Mr. Box into the other box and out. Mr. Box into the other box and out. Oops. And then you're going to do the same all the way. Mr. Box into the other box and out. Mr. Box into the other box and out. And then you can just, let's see if that needs to go into another. Yep, so you can just at the very end just go into, well, you can just go into that box there. It's any box would do as long as it meets at the other end, like so. So that's one side, you see. So when you do it up, then you've got that length. It's not too long, it's not too short. And now we're going to do the same with the other one, but this time we're going to, oops, just leave that there for a moment. Okay, so with this one, what we're going to do is we're going to grab the end and we're going to go the opposite direction, because now you've had it going that way, we want it going this way. So I'm just going to put in my chain from this end and in the same direction exactly, and I'm going to put it underneath there like that. There you go, and just follow the same route this has gone through. With your hands you can thread it through. It's quite easy to thread through with your hands, and then just go through the next lot the same way. Now it's easy to see where each where each bit is, where you can just thread it through. There we go. And that, I think that's the last one there. Let's try that, shall we? Yep, that should be the last one, I think. Yeah. And then I'm just going to turn it upside down, and I'm going to do the same with this side as well, remembering to go that direction. So again, I'm just going to thread it through here like so. There we go. And then once that's through, just keep going in the direction under each of these loops. As you can see them here, just go underneath. Okay. And once you've done that, you're just going to go to the end just like the other side. I'm just going to turn this round now because it's easier. So there we go. Another loop here. And then one more just there. Go underneath that one. There we are. Okay, so here you have it. Now I'll show you what that looks like. So now you've got the two ends like this. They're about the right size, I think. Yeah. So what you need to do now, just straighten it up so they are the right size. Pull them a little bit. Yeah. There we go. Just going to straighten that up. Okay. Okay, so now you can just see for yourself when you draw the strings, you're going to see if they're actually the same length, and yes, they are pretty much the same length anyway. So look, there you go. See that? You can even withdraw a little loop if you feel like you want it shorter, you know, or 1 or 2 loops. That should be fine. And then what you do now is you can now just open your pouch, check it again, making sure it's nice and level. Yes, it's pretty much level. There we go. So now what you need to do is thread it with the beads now. So to do the bead threading, first of all, we're going to now let go of this chain, if you want to call it a chain or a loop, altogether. So that's now finished. We don't need to lengthen it or shorten it anymore. And I'm just going to pull out this one too, like so. All right, and now you've got them both tied off at the ends, properly secure. And what all we're going to do now is just put the beads on. Now in order to put the beads on, I'm just going to trim this little bit of yarn because it's ever so long. It makes things easier. Okay, I've trimmed them. Now I'm going to grab my beads. There's my beads. And you can thread them through either with the needle. If you feel like they're not going to go through the hole, like so, you can then use your needle to thread them through. And this is how I do it. Just thread your needle up like so. Hold on a second. There you go. And grab one of your beads and just pop it through. Once you've popped it through, just pull this really harshly. Let's take that out first of all. Pull that until it goes onto the chain. If it's got a big enough hole, it will do that. So you've got the hole there. Now what you're going to do is, now you're going to just grab your end bit here, loop it round and put it into another loop so that you make a double knot on the end. So this bead won't come off. So you see here, I've got a double knot here, and I'm now going to close that knot so it's secure onto the bead. So just tighten that knot up as much as you can, closer to the end. There we go. And then give it a tug like so. So now you've got the thickness of this plait, chains I should say, not plait, thickness of the chains, and then you've got the knot at the end which will secure it. And then all you do is cut that off just about there. Okay, so that you've got your bead well secure on there. Just give it a tug and you'll see it won't come off. And do the same with all of them. Do the same with all of them. Every single one, exactly what I showed you. And I'll come back to you when you've done all your beads. Okay, so here we are with the finished product. Look at that. That's so lovely, isn't it? Now you can put a little tag on if you want, of any kind, and I've got one here that I happen to have. I've had this for a while, and I'm just going to loop that through like this, and that's a fantastic gift for Christmas for somebody. If you want to give someone a Christmas present, just give them something like this and put your little imprint on there. And I'm just going to click that on, this tag, and push that through the back. So now you've got the little tag and you've got your drawstrings, and wow, look at that. Isn't that amazing? Look at that. You've got your little pulley strings which you can just open like that. Of course, remember to tie your ends in, because I haven't done so. But once you've tied your ends in from inside, which is quite simple, you just sew them in the base, and then of course you're done. Voila, there's your little pouchy bag. Now I'll show you how you can just fill it up with loads of things. Even for Christmas you can fill it up with little gifts, like a stocking filler. But instead of using a stocking, you can use this as a Christmas bag and pop some things in. And I mean, you can pop so many things in. I'm just going to put some yarn balls in so you can see. That's basically how big this bag is. It's pretty big. As you can see, it fits quite a lot of things in there. Let's put some other things. I'm just going to get some more yarn balls and stick them in like so, and then you just pull it closed like so, and there you have it. Pretty little pouch for a wonderful Christmas present. It's fantastic. You can even tie it like this if you want to present it to somebody, like so. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed watching me make this, and I do hope you make one of these as well. Let me know how you got on in the comments below, and if you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe, and hit on the notification bell for some more of my videos so you can see some more. I'll be making loads of gift ideas for Christmas, so please stay tuned and keep watching for more of these little gift things. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Bye.